She has a dress. And Sunday morning, someone dressed I
Second morning,
Good morning. Good morning.
Morning.
Can I tell you how nice it is to be in person? This is just awesome. Welcome to the 27th ABA Day in Washington. It has been 3 years that we have been virtual. In fact, the last one in person was when our now President, Deborah Enix Ross, was chair of ABA Day. So it's been a while. That hiatus, thankfully, is behind us, and I'm delighted to welcome back many of my very old and dear friends and some new ones I hope to get to know during the next couple days. Your presence is a testament to the enduring power and endurance of this event, which we know is so critical to Legal Services Corporation and to the other wonderful projects and bills and legislation that we have championed time and again during the years when we've been on the Hill. I want to thank each of you for attending ABA Day because there really is no substitute for the face-to-face advocacy that we do with between our constituents and members of Congress. It really is that all politics is local, so to the extent you can be meeting with your members of Congress, it really is important. We do make a difference. We make a real difference. Before we begin the Grassroots Awards presentation, I want to acknowledge past and present ABA officers who have joined us today. Please join me in welcoming ABA President Deborah Enix Ross, Chair of the House of Delegates, Gene Vance, President-elect of the American Bar Association, Mary Smith, President-elect nominee Bill Bay. I don't know if he's here. He was here last night, so. Interim Executive Director Alpha Brady. We have past President Bob Carlson. And I know Tommy Wells is registered, but I'm not sure if he's here yet. I haven't seen Tommy. Anyway, thank you all for being here. Finally, ABA Day would not be possible without the dedicated work of our Government Affairs Office, the ABA Day Planning Committee, and the state captains of each state bar delegation. Please join me in thanking all of you, and I especially really want to thank staff because this was a really tough one. We had to make some calls on logistics at a time when we didn't know if we were going to have more COVID coming at us. It was a real challenge. So thank you to all of you. I would now like to introduce our esteemed President, Deborah Enix Ross, who will join me at the podium to present the ABA Grassroots Advocacy Award. My dear friend, Deborah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. As Barb said, we've been friends for a long time, and I just admire your leadership, and thank you for your support of me. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Okay, that's good. It's not great, but, keep sipping that coffee, and I know by the time you hit the halls this morning, you'll be full of energy and enthusiasm. I really am delighted to be here to help us honor a special ally in our work. The ABA Grassroots Advocacy Award is awarded to ABA members, state bars, or justice organizations that go above and beyond in their support for programs and issues of priority concern to the ABA that improve the justice system. So I'm honored to present to you the 2023 recipient of the ABA Grassroots Advocacy Award, the Preserve Public Service Loan Forgiveness Coalition, otherwise known as PSLF Coalition. And Verna Williams, the CEO of Equal Justice Works, the coalition's founder, is here to accept the award on behalf of the coalition. Verna, please join me. The Preserve PSLF Coalition has distinguished itself as the central voice and catalyst for action in preserving and strengthening the Federal Public Service Loan Forgiveness Program. The program was created in 2007 to help public sector employees attract and retain qualified individuals to fill vital public service positions where the pay is generally significantly lower than in the private sector. The PSLF makes a career in public service possible by offering a path to loan forgiveness. Support for the program was strong in large part due to the ABA's advocacy until 2016, 1 year before the program was to pay out its first benefits. And suddenly, PSLF faced an unprecedented challenge. A new president and the chairs of the House and Senate Education Committee who wanted to end PSLF. Through the vision of the then CEO of Equal Justice Works, David Stern, a clarion call was issued to create a strong coalition to advocate on behalf of the program and shield it from attack. It worked. His fledgling Preserve Public Service Loan Program Forgiveness Coalition of 9 organizations is now over 90 strong. Coalition members quickly went to work creating a media campaign, carrying out briefings, Hill visits, and more to ensure that lawmakers understood why the program was created and what the world would look like without it. And there is now a bipartisan Public Service Loan Forgiveness Caucus, and the coalition's website, pslfcoalition.org, is a vibrant repository of webinars, letters, research, and personal stories, all speaking to the impact of the program. But as many are aware, saving the program was just the first step. Other threats emerged. For example, once the program did start paying benefits, nearly 99% of those who applied were denied the benefits they were promised. Once again, the Preserve PSLF Coalition stepped to the plate to help remediate the situation. Along with other voices, the Preserve PSLF Coalition was successful in getting the new Biden administration and Congress to act. In addition to regulatory changes, Congress authorized and appropriated $700 million for a temporary waiver program that helped tens of thousands of additional borrowers receive student loan relief during the COVID pandemic. And beyond its activities on the Hill, the Preserve PSLF Coalition continues to carry out regular briefings that have reached thousands of borrowers and employees and employers about PSLF eligibility. That is a mouthful first thing in the morning. So, having said all of that, finally, Verna, thank you for being here to accept the ABA's Grassroots Advocacy Award that recognizes and applauds the extraordinary contributions and achievements of the Preserve PSLF Coalition. Thank you so much.
I'm keeping mine on. Thank you. This is beautiful. Thank you.
You don't want to confuse your papers with my papers and read that all over again.
Wow. Well, thank you so much. Good morning, everyone. Wow. You may not know this. I've only been on the job for 6 months, and I'm already getting an award. It's awesome. Thank you so much, Deborah, Barb. Thank you so much. I still think of you as one of mine. I'm the former dean of University of Cincinnati College of Law, so I have to give a shout out to my former employer. Okay. And thank you so much, Ken Goldsmith. Thanks to everyone at the ABA for this recognition. I am the CEO of Equal Justice Works, but I also represent the more than 90 allied members of the PSLF Coalition. I wasn't at EJW in the coalition's early days, but from what I've heard, like many great movements, it started with a few people who had a great idea. Among them, my predecessor, David Stern, the former executive director of Equal Justice Works. Terry Hartle of the American Council on Education, Professor Phil Schrage of Georgetown University Law Center, and longtime educational debt expert Heather Jarvis, just to name a few. Thanks to their vision and the incredible collaboration and partnership with the ABA, this coalition was formed in 2017 and kicked into gear. We knew when former President Bush signed PSLF into law in 2007, requiring 10 years of full-time public service and loan repayment, that the fall of 2018 would be the first opportunity for borrowers to earn forgiveness on their educational debt. As you may recall, it did not go well. 99% of applicants were rejected. Then as now, this coalition has advocated for substantial administrative fixes to ensure that public service loan forgiveness is accessible and achievable. In the not too distant past, this has meant fighting back against full elimination of the program. More recently, this work includes supporting the creation of the temporary expanded PSLF, as well as the limited waiver last year that allowed borrowers in the wrong repayment plan or loan type to earn forgiveness. Animating the coalition is its commitment to supporting the nation's only educational loan forgiveness program specifically for public service professionals, the people working in public safety, public health, and public education, among others, providing critical services to our communities and our nation. Here I must note, in fact, that public interest lawyers were the first to vocalize the student debt was a barrier to public service, and that Equal Justice Works ignited a movement in law schools across the country to create loan repayment assistance programs to support lawyers pursuing public interest careers. Recognizing that LRAPs alone would not solve the scale of the issue at the time, we collaborated with thought partners, Professor Schrage, NLADA, and the ABA to serve in creating PSLF under the College Cost Reduction and Access Act. And so in this sense, PSLF not only helps support much needed public service, it also is about access to justice. There's a huge demand for lawyers to address the overwhelming civil legal needs of individuals and families, yet the steep cost of law school limits the career paths of lawyers, particularly Black and brown law students, who are most likely to graduate with high law school debt. PSLF makes public interest careers financially viable for those students, enabling law graduates to serve their communities full-time and adding much needed and long-lacking diversity to our profession. Throughout our movement to support PSLF, we have been very grateful to stand shoulder to shoulder with our wonderful coalition allies and for the ABA's continued partnership and support. The strides we have made would not have been possible without all of us working together. And even though we accept this wonderful recognition this morning, we know our work isn't over. The promise of PSLF, well, that's what we have now, and that's just not enough. This program must be accessible and achievable. Our work today continues to ensure that all public service professionals, those working today and those who have not yet started their careers, can rely on the promise made to them that their 10 years of public service and 120 loan repayments will successfully earn them forgiveness on their remaining educational debt. The PSLF Coalition will not rest until that day comes. Thank you again for this wonderful recognition, and get out there, get in good trouble, and make a difference.
Thank you again, Verna. As the former dean of my law school, I must say that the College of Law's, University of Cincinnati College of Law's law certainly is equal justice works gain. And the ABA students across the country really commend the work of the coalition for its vision, perseverance, and successful advocacy. Great work that you all are doing and continue to do, and we will continue to be with you along the way. Now, before we hear from our President-elect Mary Smith, I would like to remind you of a few important things. Today, we do have headquarters on the Hill. It is in Weyburn 2060. Thanks to the sponsorship of Representative Mary Scanlon of Pennsylvania. It will be open from 10 to 4 p.m. today. And Representative Scanlon has said that she will do her best to stop by the headquarters around 1 o'clock this afternoon to chat with us. So if you are available, what a great opportunity to meet one of the true champions of the work of Congress and to thank her for her support of Legal Services Corporation. GAO staff will also be at our headquarters in the Hill to help you, and you'll have those great box lunches that we get every year that will be available for us to get us nourishment before the second half of the day on the Hill. Importantly, those of you who've been here before know, but those of you who are maybe newer might not know, that you have those Hill visit forms. Every state has them. We really, really need you to complete those forms because that helps us understand what we need to do to move things forward in respective districts and with members of Congress. So I cannot emphasize enough how important it is for you to give us that feedback. It is the only way we can capitalize on all the good work that you all have been doing. Unfortunately, we will not have that headquarters tomorrow on the Hill. Your packets do have information concerning the cafeterias in the congressional office buildings where you can get some pretty good lunch. I've had quite a few lunches there, and they've got a great variety, so it should be fine. I also want to remind you to take full advantage of the Leadership Connect app that I hope you have already downloaded. It provides you with easily accessible and very useful information about each member of Congress, such as the office locations, staff members, and committee assignments. So it's that book that we used to get that was kind of thick. It's now an app, so it makes it a lot easier. If you have not already downloaded it, don't worry. There are people from Leadership Connect and the GAO office staff here who will be happy to help you do that at the conclusion of this program. Tonight, we have the Library of Congress reception. It will be wonderful, as it always has been in the past. It's from 5:30 to 7:30. Instructions on how to enter the building are in your packets. Tomorrow's breakfast will be here, again, same room. There won't be a formal program. It'll just be a chance for you to get some good nourishment before you head to the Hill. And with that, I am pleased to introduce our President-elect, Mary Smith, who will make some brief remarks before we conclude this program with a call to action. Mary.
Well, good morning, everyone. It's so great to be here, first time in person since the pandemic, so it's amazing. And I have to say, my ABA day started a little bit early, as Senator Durbin was actually on my flight from Chicago, so I got to start early. So I am so thrilled that we're all here. And, you know, it's never too early to start planning for next year. And before I do that, I want to thank Chair Barb Howard and Holly Cook and the whole staff of the GAO office for all the amazing work they did setting this up this year. And it was such an amazing job. As Barb said, it wasn't easy because we didn't know if there'd be another bout of COVID, and she has done an amazing job. So I am pleased to announce that she has graciously agreed to be the chair for next year as well. So congratulations. And with that, I hope you all have a productive Hill visits. I do want to say that This is such a critical time for legal services funding. It always is. As we've seen, the justice gap is about 92%, but also the public health emergency is going to be ending on May 11th, and people are going to be losing, they already are, losing their benefits for Medicaid and SNAP benefits. So we're here at a very critical time. So thanks so much. I hope all your visits go well. And not too early to mark your calendars. Next year's ABA Day is April 9th through 11th. So I look forward to seeing everybody back next year, but before that, have great Hill visits today. Thank you.
I'm a little taller than my predecessors. Good morning, everyone. For those of you who have not met, I'm Holly Cook, and I'm the lucky director of the Governmental Affairs Office. And I'd like to start by first thanking my entire team who've been working with Barb Howard and the ABA Day Planning Committee for months to bring this together. So thank you all very much. And I want to start by thanking the Public Service Loan Forgiveness Coalition. For those of you that know, this entire table is representatives and people who have contributed to this effort. And your example is the perfect example of what collective advocacy can do and what a powerful impact it can have, both to the communities that now have access to legal services that they might not have gotten, and to the people. Nobody got those loans given for free. They weren't just relieved. People gave 10 years of service in order to earn back that benefit. So congratulations to all of you, and thank you for what you do and for working with the American Bar Association on that. All right. So my job today is just to remind you of what the asks are when you get up onto Capitol Hill, and we thank you all for making the trip to be here and for working with your members of Congress. We have 3 specific asks. The first is to ask your members of Congress to continue to provide robust funding for the Legal Services Corporation. Civil legal offices across the country rely on that funding in order to help the people that they do. They get those grants, and then they use it into the legal aid offices. But as we heard yesterday from Ron Flagg, the president and CEO of Legal Services Corporation, currently about half of the people who show up for help are still being turned away. We appreciate that Congress appropriated $560 million last year. That's a $71 million increase, and that's incredible. But people are struggling in the wake of the pandemic. They still need that help, as we've just heard from President-elect Mary Smith, that the emergency is about to end. There's going to be more to come. They need help, and they're their constituents, so they should be supporting this for their constituents. The legal aid offices need that federal funding, and we're asking you to emphasize that ask with your member of Congress. That's number 1. Number 2, if your member of Congress has not already seen or signed the Dear Colleague letter, ask them to do so. There are 2 letters that are circulating, one on the House side, one on the Senate side. If it's on the House side, it is Congressman Fitzpatrick, Armstrong, Graves, Cohen, Scanlon, and Dingell that have signed off on that letter. Ask them to put your member's voice to that letter. On the Senate side, it's Senators Cornyn, Sullivan, Cardin, and Murphy. Please ask them to sign if they haven't already done so. And the third ask is if you're on the House side asking people for support, ask them to join the House Access to Legal Aid Caucus. By joining that, they're showing their interest in this issue, that they want to continue to be kept informed, and that they want to be part of that solution. And I'll end with some final advocacy tips. As you go into your offices, remember to offer to be a resource for your members of Congress. If they've got questions or they need assistance, offer that help. If you can't follow through, let us know in the Governmental Affairs Office. We're happy to follow through and continue those relationships as well. When you walk into the office, keep your messages short, simple, focused. You may go in there thinking you have 30 minutes for a meeting. You may find you have 5 or 7. Take advantage of the time with your member, but don't waste that time. And the other thing I will ask is join our ABA Day conversations online. As you're in your visits, please take pictures. If you are engaging online, take pictures of that too. For those people, I know we're live streaming this. If you are at home and you're meeting with your members of Congress in home districts, take a photo of that too and share it with the Government Affairs Office. Use the hashtag ABA Day. Post the meetings and the pictures on the Hill. Gene Vance was doing an incredible job yesterday all through LSC. I was enjoying his and retweeting them. Remember to tag your members too. They like to see themselves in the photos and these prints. And bolster the collective advocacy efforts of all of us to get that funding for legal aid. have fun. Thank you for making the trip. And I will use Werner's words of saying, now go get in trouble. Get to work, and thank you for everything that you're doing on behalf of the Legal Services Corporation, the American Bar Association, and the state and local bar leaders who are here today. So thank you very much. Have a great day.